Aam Aadmi Party MLA Somnath Bharti has faced an ink attack in Raebareli. The leader of Hindu Yuva Vahini threw ink at him.
AAP's Delhi MLA Somnath Bharti is arrested and in a jail in Sultanpur, Uttar Pradesh. He was picked up because he was criticizing the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, abusing him, and this while he was on a tour assessing the schools in Raebareli. Now, what was he doing in Uttar Pradesh? My this week's One Take actually asked this question: is the AAP now trying to have a pan-India image, and will it be at the cost of the Congress party? I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and this is what I'm going to try and assess. Now, if we look at some of the posters outside of AAP's offices in the national capital, it makes the point, support AAP and help in nation building. So what they are themselves doing and suggesting is that if you want to make India developed and powerful, AAP is the go-to destination. There have been attempts which has been made by the Aam Aadmi Party earlier to have successful electoral forays. It's not been the case. Punjab is one exception where they're the principal opposition party to the Congress. But whether it's other states like Goa, Haryana, Gujarat, they've not been too successful. But we are looking at a situation of a political vacuum as an alternative to the BJP, and AAP, ironically, which has often been derided as a B team of the BJP, is now trying to be that alternative. They know it may take a couple of years, sometimes 10 years, sometimes 15 years, but they are now going to try and contest and will be on all critical, crucial state elections. For example, Gujarat, which is going to come up soon. There's Assam, there's Tamil Nadu, there's West Bengal, and these are the states which it is looking at. There have been other parties like say the NCP or the Trinamool Congress who too have tried to contest or put up candidates in other state elections as well, but they have withdrawn. They have realized that it's too much of an effort perhaps to hit the ground. That's where AAP is different. There are lots of similarities in the working style of AAP and the BJP. Both these political parties are almost in a 24/7 political mode, on the ground, hitting out at their opponents, coming out with new strategies. For example, switch off your engines at red lights. This was at the peak of the COVID crisis. That's an idea which was thought of by Arvind Kejriwal because he wanted to control pollution. An oximeter, checking the oxygen levels, so on and so forth. Now, this is similar to what the BJP does. BJP comes out with several winning strategies which instantly connects itself with the people, and AAP is known for that connection with the people. That's the genesis of this political party. That's one. It's also, of course, going to take advantage of the state of limbo which other opponents are. For example, SP for a very long time, BSP, and the Congress party, of course. Now, in Uttar Pradesh, for example, they have an MP from Rajya Sabha, Sanjay Singh. He's in charge of the state, and he's there. He's hitting the grounds. He's trying to build up a cadre in a state as difficult as UP, where the BJP we know is extremely powerful. And that's why Somnath Bharti went there, into the bastion of the Gandhis. And that's where the threats to the Congress party come. I remember many years back, Rahul Gandhi at the AICC had said, we need to learn a lot from the Aam Aadmi Party. That was perhaps the best left-handed compliment he gave to AAP. Unfortunately, the Congress party for itself never learned this lesson, whereas AAP has moved on from one success story to another in terms of trying to connect with the people. Now, as I said, what are the advantages of AAP? Because like the BJP, they hit the ground, and that really matters. Second, they don't shy away from defeats. Every election becomes important for them, and they know that building up the cadre is the most important factor. In their earlier forays, they made the mistake of just rushing in, not building up a base. This time round, they are more meticulously planned. Something which the Congress party and other opponents are now increasingly losing out. Congress, for example, is not a cadre-based party. It doesn't have a very powerful organization. AAP has understood this. Second, of course, is the charisma of Arvind Kejriwal. People do know him. As they say in Hindi, bacha bacha usko janta hai. And this is something which he's going to build up on. Much like the charisma of Narendra Modi. If a vote goes for AAP, it's actually a vote for Arvind Kejriwal. He has oratorial powers, he's mixing around with the crowds, not having any qualms about photo opportunities, using or coming up with different strategies. That's something, again, which AAP has picked up from the BJP. So when you're looking at a political vacuum, whether it's inside a parliament, very strategically taking up those issues and topics which they know will not put them on a back foot, like the Congress often has been, whether it's been on the Hindutva image or whether it has been on this issue of nationalism. That way Arvind Kejriwal plays it very safe and he wants to be seen on the right side so that the BJP cannot attack it on these critical or sensitive issues. Hanuman Chalisa, for example. Now that was again a winning strategy by the Aam Aadmi Party as far as the Delhi elections are concerned. I'm going through a lot of questions and feedback coming in. Many of them are deriding AAP and many of them are asking me this, whether AAP can really match up to a mammoth organization like the BJP or even be a counter to Congress which has been there for years. Well, never run down anyone in politics. That's one lesson we all political reporters have learned. I remember when AAP contested for the first time, everyone brought it down, thinking how can Arvind Kejriwal ever win against Sheila Dikshit, who was a giant as far as Delhi politics is concerned. Well, you just have to look back at history to see that what really has played out. So I think this time round, AAP is playing it more smartly, more shrewdly, bit by bit, inch by inch, trying to provide that political alternative to the BJP and definitely eating into a space of other political parties, but most importantly, the Congress party.